What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about the importance of learning how to fall properly on mini ramp. So this is something I get asked about a lot, and it's kind of difficult to articulate, so I decided to break it down into 5 tips. Okay, so tip number 1 doesn't actually have to do with falling itself, it's kind of preventing the fall, and that's working your way up to a trick. So by doing this, it's a lot more boring, obviously, right? You want to just get right to the trick and learn it, but by doing it on smaller ramps, kind of working your way up to it, it helps you build in the muscle memory, right? Like, for example, when I would learn blunt fakies on mini ramp, I constantly would slip out over and over and over, like falling on my wrist, and you're just not used to that impact and learning how to lean into the ramp, right? So the best way to do that would be to just like learn ollies to fakie, do a bunch of those, just learn how to pop in the air and then deal with the impact of coming back in, right? And you'd start on a smaller quarter pipe and then work your way up. And it's kind of hard to escape this in the beginning. Like, obviously you just want to be at that level right away, but there's just so many years and hundreds of tries of practice that need to be burned into your subconscious, right? You're just training yourself to do these things without thinking. So really, it's just repetition and number of tries. Okay, next up is tip number 2, which is not stepping on your board. So for me personally, I'm doing a lot of flip tricks and spins into all my stalls on mini ramp. So that's become a very important part of my skating, is just learning where to not step, right? And this is another thing that just is gonna come to you in time and a lot of attempts, but really you should be planning out your bail before it happens, right? Because if you don't know your escape plan, it's gonna be much harder for you to escape. You're not gonna be expecting it, you're gonna slip out. So, if you're trying a rock fakie and you're not comfortable with it, I suggest, thinking about it before you try. Think, okay, I'm gonna put the board up there, feel it out, and then I'm gonna jump off, and I gotta jump to the side so I don't land on it. And another way you can do this is just put one foot on the board, but do it consciously, right? So you can be trying like a nollie back tail, for example, trying to do that to tail stall, and know in your head you're just gonna put one foot on the board. If you do that over and over, it helps you build your confidence, and then by the time you're ready to stick it, you feel much more comfortable. Okay, and tip number 3 is gonna be focusing on your lock-in. So this is something that can sometimes just be accidental, right? You're just trying the trick and you get into it, and that's just the way you get into it. But really there's more of a science to it, and you can focus on getting your whole truck on the coping or just one wheel. So it really helps to visualize and understand why you're gonna be doing something. So for example, if you're trying the backside 50-50 grind on the mini ramp and you're locking in with your whole truck on, that can build some fear or just unease, because when you go to come in, it's possible for your truck to hang up. Like, it just works a lot better if you're locked in on your heel side wheels. Or with the rock fakie, at first it's a lot easier to just hang your truck up on the coping. So if you plan to do that, it'll make it much easier to learn, as opposed to getting the whole board on and you're kind of balancing, you're a little shaky and then jumping off. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to learn your tricks. And tip number 4, probably my most used tip, is roll with the falls. So when I'm trying these tricks, like a kickflip into a blunt stall or something like that, and I miss, the board shoots out and I'm about to smash my hip on the coping, and I kind of tuck my shoulder and I'll roll into the ramp, right? But it doesn't just stop there. If you hang up and fall to the flat bottom, don't just take it like straight, like a sack of potatoes. Try to roll with your falls, and it takes the impact away. Okay, and tip number 5 is a really important tip I never really hear anyone talking about, and that's learning to slide down the transition. So as I'm trying these tricks on like bigger ramps, like a 6-foot ramp or something like that, I've realized when I miss my trick, it takes a lot more energy and even risk of falling to try to run out of that trick, right? So if I just butt slide and kind of just let my weight go and slide down, it's much more safe. Now, this probably won't work for you on a 4-foot ramp. Like, occasionally it can, but I'd say like 5 or definitely 6 foot is the range where you would be doing this. Now, of course, you could always just throw on knee pads and be able to knee slide out of a lot of these tricks, but if you're like me and you don't really wear pads, the butt slide is a good way to go. Alright guys, that's it for the video. I hope this was helpful for you, and in the comments below, just let me know what you struggle with the most on mini ramp. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video.